Welcome back, guys. It's good to have you all here again. Gosh, 8 weeks flies by, hey? But yeah, good to have you back. This is session 8, positive vibes. All of our details, as you can see, are in the top right-hand corner. So if you've got any questions following this session, get in contact with us. We're always here to help. Um, yeah, let's get into it, man. This is session 8. Maybe one that could have been covered a little bit earlier, but it's always essential that we cover the core skills. And what are your core skills? What are the core skills that are required in terms of the music industry and music production, and creating a positive and successful music career? I know this one sounds cliche. I know these sort of sessions can be a little bit daunting because you go over this in so many areas in school, in different areas. But listen, I can't stress it enough. I'm going to relate it back specifically to the music industry with examples. And let's get into it, man. So the session outcomes today: understand what it takes to make it. Yeah, you probably heard that slogan a number of times, but we're going to go into real detail now. What does it take to make it in the game? What core skills do you require to make it? And that's what we're going to go into in a lot of detail. What skills will take you through the industry? What skills will give you success? What skills will help you in the game? We're going to touch on that as well, all right? The importance of a work ethic, yeah? So we'll touch on what a work ethic is. Not many people know what ethics are. Not many people know what work ethics are because not many people have had jobs. So it's important to understand this, and this is something that can stick with you throughout the rest of your career as well. Okay, let's get into this. What does it take to make it? What does it take to make it? Do you have what it takes? First of all, ask yourself that question. On your own as an individual, do you have what it takes to make it? Now, the answer to this, surprisingly, not many people, I'd say 80% of people do not have what it takes to make it. And this is why 80% of people have a team around them. Now, you do get 20% who are really strong-minded, determined, they have all the ingredients, they have all the core skills, and they have what it takes to make it. And those 20% are blessed. They are naturally skilled. They've got the ability to do it on their own. They can go solo. They dictate. They call in who they want. They manage the whole program. And listen, everyone can get there. That does come with some time. It does come with experience. And a lot of those people with experience, they've made mistakes on their journey. So don't watch no face. Do you look at yourself individually? Look at where your skills lie. If you don't have some of the skills, you may have to draw people in who have those skills to support you. You're not going to have every skill. You're not Jesus. You're not, you're not at the top of your game. You're not the bright star in the sky who can do everything or a genius. So everyone has to at some point pull people in to help them with those different areas. Yeah. And one that's not on there is, you know, pride. You're going to have to remove pride. Pride will stop you from doing so many things in life. Pride is a thing that will make you do things that you don't necessarily want to do, but you're doing them because something inside of you, you don't want to lose face. Um, you you want to impress. You don't want to look moist, as Michael Dapper would say. Yeah, but sometimes you got to let go of pride and bring people in, and simple things like asking for help. Pride will stop us from asking for help, and we will try and do it all on our own, but we're missing some of the key ingredients. And some of those key ingredients are the ones that will help us to make it. Those core ingredients. And sometimes we haven't got them. We just got to admit that. And if we haven't got them, go and build them. Go and learn. Go on an educational course. Get some mentorship from somebody who can help you in that area, so you can have what it takes to make it. So again, ask yourself, do you have what it takes to make it? Do you have all the skills? Do you have the management skills? Do you have the people skills? Do you have the legal and the law skills? Do you have every skill it takes to make it? And like I said, 80% of the time it's going to be no. And that's a surprise for some people. Yeah. Sometimes we think because we're musically talented and we're gifted in a certain area, we have everything it takes to make it. But the answer is no. 20%, only about 20% have everything or have the full package. And even in those cases, they still have to call on help. But part of their core skills is lowering their guard and knowing when to have pride and not. And that's a core thing as well. So letting go of pride and knowing when to ask for help is such a key thing. You can't do it on your own. No man is an island. No one person is an island. You have to ask for help when it's required. So another thing as well is determination. If you ain't got determination, you're not going to make it. You have to be determined. No one, it shouldn't be your mum telling you to get up in the morning and go and write lyrics, or your brethren telling you to go and write lyrics because you're talented. If you're in that situation, you're not going to make it and you don't have what it takes. You have to be self-determined. Now, self-determined cannot be learned, it cannot be taught. You can learn about the ingredients of it and what triggers determination, but it has to be triggered within you. And it normally comes from something that you like, something that you desire, something that stimulates some sort of excitement within you. And that will bring that determination within someone. You know, really wanting something can bring determination. Being hungry for something can bring determination. And you cannot buy it. It's got to be something you're really interested in. This is why they always say, do something you're passionate about. Do something you're interested in. There's no point you doing computer science if you hate computers. There's no point doing music, rap music, if you're a classical artist and someone forcing you in it just because of money. No, don't do that. Grit. Again, you know, some of these things I'm going to mention here, you cannot buy these things. You cannot be taught these things. Some of them you can be taught, but it takes time. Grit has to come through experience. Grit has to come through hunger. Grit has to come through, you know, poverty and going through hardship and wanting to overcome something that you don't like and removing yourself from one situation to be at B. Or grit can come from, you know what, I'm grinding my teeth, I'm getting down and I want to get to a certain pace. Cannot be bought. But that grit, if you've got that in you, that's going to take you a long way. And you know, grit and determination go together. You know, grit means you're willing to do whatever it takes to get to where you need to be. You know, if you're going to get slapped in the face, if you're going to get punched up, if you're going to have to be spoken to in a certain way, you're going to use that grit within you to get through that and grind yourself through it. Yeah, and grit can also be described as a grinder. I'm going to grind my way through this. No matter what comes my way, I've got that grit. So it's someone who's got resilience, someone who's got determination, someone who's got the willpower to overcome hurdles that come their way. They've got that grit. And like I said, grit cannot be bought. It's mainly gained through life experiences. And when people have been through certain things, they gain a sense of grit, a level of determination to overcome certain hurdles in their life. Hustle. Yeah, hustle, sales, you know, negotiations. Discussions, talking. These are the sort of things that hustling is. You know, hustle was almost made out to be a bad thing, but I know it's linked highly and closely with drug dealing. But hustle is part of everyday life. When you go to a market, that is hustle. That is the hustle. That is the life of hustle. You're negotiating with people in the market. You know, you're haggling with prices. You're discussing with people. You're building a relationship with customers and people that you're buying from, suppliers. And that is the hustle, building those relationships, knowing when to ask for the right price and knowing, you know, again, it can't be bought. This is something that you gain through life experience and you have to go out there and do it. You know, my first challenge for you is go to a market, think about an item that you want to buy and put a price in your head that you want to get it for and take that as a challenge. For example, if you want to go to the market and get some trainers, maybe they might be fake ones, say some fake Nike Air Maxes, have in the back of your head that you want to spend £30, knowing that they're going to be £60 on the shelf, and see what sort of hustle you can get out of that conversation with the gentleman in front of you or the woman in front of you. Same, it might even be a small one if you want to only spend £1. You know, if a pack of bananas are £2, go to the market and see if you can get the hustle and the grind right down to £1.20. Yeah, let's see what your hustle is. And like I said, you have to go and test this one. You have to be out there hustling, bustling. And it's the same with the music game. You have to hustle your way through the game. You have to hustle your way through the doors of the big players. When you've got your musical album and your musical product, you have to hustle your way into the game to break your music through and into the ears of people of influence in high places. That's the hustle you've got to do. Focus. Again, I don't know if this one can be bought. You can't buy this one. You can't just have this one overnight. This is one that you've just got to have. You're either focused or you're not. And in some cases where people are not focused, there's ways to overcome it. You can have people in your team who will keep you focused and keep you in check. But again, are you determined enough to let down your guard and not be prideful and allow someone to speak to you and say, listen, tomorrow we're here. Friday we're here. Saturday we're here. And I want you on time. Yeah, that comes with time management. That comes with making sure you're sticking to your schedule. That means you're hitting your targets, your goals. That means you've got a business plan. That means you've got a team. Being focused means you're hitting every mark and you're not allowing anything to distract you. You're removing distractions. Social media is switched off at a certain time. You're going to bed at a certain time so you can wake up in the morning hungry and focused in the morning. Yeah. And that links into the next one. Are you hungry? Yeah, you can't buy this, you can't learn this. This comes from within. This is linked to determination. This is linked to the grit, the hustle. Are you hungry for something? How much do you want it? That's the question of hunger. Yeah. Does another man want it more than you? Is he more hungry than you? Yeah. When you're hungry and you've not eaten food for a day, how determined are you to go and get that food? Yeah. And that's the same question. How determined are you to make it in the music game? Yeah. Do you have that feeling where you've not eaten for a day? You have that same feeling where you're going to go and get some food no matter what it takes. And if anyone gets in my way, I'm going to remove them. Do you have that sort of hunger? And the truth is, if you don't have that sort of hunger for the music game or whatever industry you're in, this is transferable, you're going to struggle. You have to be hungry for something. And this is why that we always say to people, link yourself to something you desire. Link yourself to something you have an ambition for. There's no point you being forced into being a doctor if that's not something you want to do. And that's your parents' ambition and it's your parents' hunger and determination. Whereas if you want to be a music artist and you're trying to be forced down another stream, it's not going to work. So do something that you're hungry for, you love, you have a passion for, because the hunger will naturally ignite within you. And you have to be influenced. I will say have 5 people that are influencers on your life. Watch them, listen to them. At the moment, I'm listening to 50 Cent, Hustle Harder. Listen to books like that will teach you how to hustle, how to be hungry, how to be focused, how to be determination. My recommendation for every young person right now on this program, listen to 50 Cent's audiobook. You can get it for free on Audible as your first book. Yeah, jump on that. It's a free one. Yeah. And most importantly, how much do you want it? That links to your hunger. How much do you want it? Because that will trigger your hunger. That will trigger your focus. That will trigger your hustle, your grit, and your determination. How much do you want it? Don't put yourself in an area where you're not interested. If you want to be a doctor and you're being forced into music by your peers, forget it. Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong, there are cases where people are forced into things and they do well at it. But most of the time, when they're forced into things, they do well. It's because their parents want to do it or some sort of external influence is forcing them into it. And they're never 9 out of 10 times happy in that industry. Mainly the pay might just satisfy them, but nothing else. So you have to be determined yourself and you have to want it. How much do you want it? Do you really want to make it in the music game? And if you do, are you determined? Do you have grit? Do you have the hustle skills? Are you focused and are you hungry? Yeah? And as they say, the slogan, go hard or go home. If you're not willing to put 10 out of 10, at least 90% of the time, forget it. Go home. Go home, sleep in your bed and pack it up right now. That's not to discourage you, but listen, you have to go home, go hard or go home. That's the mentality. Listen, there's millions of artists trying to break through in the industry, and if you ain't going hard, you're gonna go home. Even listen, you go hard or you're gonna be forced home. How about that? Yeah, you'll be forced home. You'll be forced to go home. Yeah, you'll be forced to go home because others around you will push you down the pecking order. They'll push you down the line. So you've got to go hard to push yourself up that pecking order. But then you can go hard for yourself. Go hard for yourself. Do it for yourself. Do it for the end goal. The fact that you're gonna have a produced album with with an artwork on the front, with your face on the front. You've got a finished product. How fantastic is that? How great will you feel to show that to your family and your friends? Having CDs sat in your car or in your backpack, and everywhere you go, listen, there's my album. Have a free copy. This is what I produced. This is something that I put together with my team. How proud. What sort of that is a massive sense of achievement. Yeah, and that's what you go hard for. Yeah, are you willing to go hard? Are you willing, as I mentioned on the last page, to put in that grit, to hustle, to be focused, to be hungry, and go hard? Yeah, and the truth is, if you don't go hard, you're gonna go home, back to your mum's house, in your 30s, 40s, and have wasted many years. Listen, if you don't take it serious, you can end up wasting years of hard work, years of finance. And I know, I can tell you loads of artists right now. I could mention 20, 30 artists from my area that I grew up with that went hard, and maybe never went hard enough, but wasted years of time in the studio. And not only that, the money that they spent on producing songs and traveling and artwork and studio time, like thousands, like grands. Maybe like if we combined it between all of us, it could be in the millions. It's crazy. It's a madness. Crazy, man. Crazy. Yeah. So these are the core skills that are required. You've got to be patient. And some people have got to see it over the long game. And a lot of the grime artists in the UK, garage artists, they were patient. Now, the UK is blowing up. And in my personal opinion, the UK is at the best stage it's ever been at. This is the best time for a musical artist from the UK in terms of blowing and making it in the music game. We're recognized. We're no longer following the Americans, wearing baggy clothes and speaking with an American accent. We are trendsetters. We've got American artists want to come over to the UK to be part of what we're doing. Now they're wearing I don't like skinny jeans, but Americans are wearing skinny jeans now. That says it all. And that comes through patience and sticking to our culture, setting the pace of garage and grime, and that is our original stuff. Not trying to be American rappers, because that used to annoy the hell out of me back in the day when we used to speak over here, UK accent with American accent, baggy clothes, and we're doing the twang thing. Stop it. We're trendsetters over here. Now we've got people wanting to speak like us, dress like us, talk like us, be part of us, feature on our songs, wear our clothes. That's what I'm talking about. That is the virtue of patience. Patience is a virtue, as they say. And if you stick it out over the long game, you'll reap the benefits. Guys who have been doing this 20, 30 years in the UK music industry are now reaping the rewards of their hard work in the music game. And that comes through patience. It pulls off. A lot of the grime artists now are getting tours and they're getting appearances, 20 grand to show up in a nightclub, touring around the globe. And there's big money in touring. They're selling their merchandise and their t-shirts are growing and they're on TV, they're on BBC, you name it, they're all over the media. Like, it's big. The UK industry is big. But what I want to say is these guys didn't just turn up overnight. Most of the artists, 90% of the artists you see them blow up right now, have been putting in work for years, decades. Yeah? So don't just think you're going to rock up and try and blow like these guys. Yeah, you might get a one-hit wonder, but you won't get that credibility and that long-term consistency. Now try to know all of these people that are making it have people skills. Yeah, they don't just get where they get because they got good music. They're likable people. People understand them, they communicate well. People can relate to them. People like being around them. They've got a good aura, they've got a good vibe, they've got the people skills that attract people to them, that pull people towards them, that make people want to be around them. Now, that cannot be gained, but you can understand the key functions of having people skills. And part of that is listening, part of that is paraphrasing, showing that you care about people, part of that is having a good energy. Now, some of these things, like I said, you're not going to have. So you may have to have a team of people around you that have good people skills. So when you go in a room with your people or with your team, the skills are flowing, the people skills are flowing and the energy is flowing. But some of the key people skills, some of the key attributes of people skills is good eye contact, listening, having a good energy, coming with a good vibe, being focused, coming in a room with knowledge, showing people that you care, showing people that you've put time and effort into your music. All of these different things are part of good people skills as well. And listening, such a big one. You have to listen. Show that you're listening. You can paraphrase. What does paraphrase mean? If someone says a line to you, repeat it. But don't just repeat it to patronize, but just sort of paraphrase. So someone said to you, yeah, I want to be a millionaire in 10 years. You paraphrase by saying, okay, so you wanted to be a millionaire, yeah? You're going to, in 10 years, you're going to hit that millionaire mark. That's big. Yeah? And I like that. And then also being relatable. So relating to what people say. Listen, I want to be a millionaire too. Like, we should roll together and maybe we should have a meeting once a week where we can talk about our ambitions. Yeah. Your writing skills have got to be impeccable. And not everyone's skills are 10 out of 10. So you can have people within your team that can write for you, putting emails together, putting letters together, putting documents together. Have someone who can write good. The worst thing that you can do, and this is probably my biggest mistake, is have letters written with loads of typos and mistakes in it. But thank God for Grammarly and spell check on Word. But you know what? Always have someone to proofread to show that you're articulate. You're sick with your word. Yeah. And your engagement has to be 10 out of 10. So you have to come with energy. Always go to your meetings with full energy, full focus, full energy, like vibes, ready to tear down the room and leave a good impression. And you've got to be a good team player. You've got to be able to listen. And like I said in the previous slides, You have to let down your guard at times and allow your team to step in at the right moment. You know what? Any meeting you go to or any people you meet with, prepare as well. Set ahead. Do your due diligence. Know who you're working with, and know how you're going to win over that room. Now, don't be fake. Be yourself, and allow people within your team to play to their strengths. Allow your person with the best speaking skills to come in at the right time. Allow your detail person to come in at the right time and give all the detail and the stats and the figures. And then you come in and charm with your lyrics and sell yourself at the right time. Yeah. So in the bottom, I've got, can these skills be learned? 90% of the time, it's 50-50. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not even going to say 90% of the time. Some of these things can be learned, some of these things can't. But you can teach yourself these things. You can watch people and you can build these skills up. But you've just got to do it. You've got to get out there and do it and throw yourself in the deep end and just keep practicing. And you can build that from 50% to the 90%, even 100% in most of the times. Do you need all of these skills? No. That's an honest answer. This is what a team's about. But what I would suggest is that you want to be building these skills and learning from your team and people that are around you. So if you've got a guy who's sick at writing, read his documents and start learning these documents. Listen, you're going to have to lower your skills, and it might be that you do another course in maths and English or even literacy to up your writing skills. I done it. At one point, my grammar, my spelling and grammar was absolutely atrocious. And I said to myself, I'm going to go and do a basic, and I've done well with GCSEs, that's how crazy it is. But I said to myself, I'm going to go back to basics and do a real simple grammar course. It's amazing how much you forget over the years. Nouns, pronouns, all these different things, and punctuation, and so many things that you can just brush up your skills with. Little 3-4 day course ain't going to harm you. All it's going to do is benefit you. So know when to up your skills and invest in your time and educate yourself and take yourself to that next level. Yeah, because it will all benefit you in the long run. It will make you look better. It will brush you up. It will give you that polished look. The 5 criteria for exceptional work ethics. Now we're talking about work ethics. You know, ethics is about wrong, right, morals. It kind of links into all these things, your values, what you stand for. And number 1 on there, give a damn about your work. Give a damn about your team. Give a damn about the people you're sitting in front of, the people that your fans, everyone around you. Give a damn about everything. And if you have that attitude, that ethic, that work ethic, your work will be 10 out of 10. When you're writing your lyrics and you're getting tired, you'll just stop and say, you know what, no more. I'm putting out crap. This ain't good enough. I'll come back tomorrow to put in more, because you give a damn about the perception and the lyrical content you're putting out to your fans. You give a damn. You're going to bed early. I've got a meeting in the morning. I want to be 10 out of 10. I want to be focused. I want to be ready. And on top of that, I'm going to prepare for this. Yeah. Do what you said you're going to do. I know this looks a bit blurry, but I'm going to read it to you. Do what you said you're going to do. Be a man who sticks to your word. Be a woman who sticks to your word. Do not lower your guard in that area. It's so important. I struggle with this one. I say a load of things and sometimes you don't get it done. And we probably all do. We overpromise. But you know what? Try and make it one of your work ethics. You know what? What I say I'm going to do, I'm going to do it. And the best way to do this, I've learned, is writing it down in your notepad. Promises. Have a little promises section and make sure that over time you review that page and put the name of the person you said who you was going to do that to. I said I was going to send over 5 documents for the legal framework. Write it down. Because you said you're going to do that, but are you going to be known to do that? Yeah? Focus. I spoke about this in the last one. Be focused. Don't get distracted. Social media is the biggest distraction. Now, when you start building yourself up and you start reading through your social media and you see the haters and you see the positive comments and you get caught up in that, that can distract you. So my advice is, when you get to a certain level, give the social media to someone. They will highlight the good things you need to see or anything that's of a concern. Let them take control. Let them take the photos and all the stuff. Let someone who's good at that do that. Yeah, and this comes with letting down your pride. And then on your day off, maybe you can look at your social media. Yeah. Being focused means going to bed early and switching off at the right time. Not smoking weed, not getting drunk all the time. And acting silly and getting caught up in girls and all these different things. That's being focused, and it's hard work. It takes punctuality. Not everyone can do it. Taking the initiative to go bed early, to tell your team, listen, we're focused tomorrow. I'm having a meeting. Taking the initiative to call a meeting with your team, to put your team on training. You know what? Your writing skills ain't good. My writing skills ain't good. I'm going on a course to up my writing skills. I don't just want to rely on my XYZ. I'm going to up my skills myself so I can send out emails and have them written to a high level. Yeah? Take the initiative. And clearly separate your professional and personal life. You have to know the two. You have to know when to switch off, and you have to know when to be professional. You have to know when to be in your personal world. You know, don't bring your work home. When you go home, chill, switch off, chill out. Now, I'm a bit of a hypocrite there because I find it hard to switch off, and this is one that many people will struggle with, especially with a mobile phone in front of us. Um, I was advised, and I did this in the early days, to have two separate phones, one for work and one for business. Now, my mistake that I've made now, and this is one for me, is to go back to two separate phones. I've got one phone for everything, and it's a bad idea because you never know when it's a work call, it's a professional call, so you've always got to answer it. So I'm in the process of I'm gonna get another phone, and it's horrible because you've got to charge two phones, you've got to keep two phones have got to be in your pockets. But what you could do is when it's work time, you could divert the calls from one phone to another. And that means during call hours you're going to take everything, and then go back to that phone in the evening, switch off the call, divert, stuff like that. Little savvy things you could do. Yeah. Cool. Nice, simple things. You know, core skills. This is what we're talking about today. Simple things where you can up your game, you can up your skills, key skills that are going to take you through the music game and make you a better person. And I recommend you follow up on all of them. There's so many things in there. I'll just recap before we finish. You know, go hard, go home. Are you going to be the person that goes home, or are you going to be forced to go home? Because the industry is brutal. It will force you to go home and wrap up in your bed. And do you have what it takes? You know, pride. I didn't put pride in it, but I'll encourage everyone. I'm going to write it out now because it's such an important thing. You know, you have to remove pride. You cannot be prideful. Yeah. And like I said, the core skills: be patient. You know, because a lot of people in the industry have been patient and they're now making it and reaping the rewards. Make sure you up your people skills and learn your people skills, and have people in your team that have got the people skills to give you that vibe and that ethics and everything you need. Listening, writing skills, people engagement, all core. That is the end of session 8. Thank you for listening, guys. Next week we're back on session 9, and then finally the week after we're on session 10. It's going so quick, can't believe it. But thanks for listening, guys. Any questions, check in with me after. You can also phone me if you don't want to ask in front of the group. Stay blessed. Keep your head up, keep focused, meet with your mentor, go through your business plan, keep working on that, chipping away at it, even if it's a